Your dog just licked your face. Maybe you were sitting on the floor and it walked over, climbed into your space, and ran its tongue across your cheek before you could do anything about it. Maybe it waited until you were laughing at something and caught you off guard. Maybe it happens every single morning, same side of the face, same urgency, like it has a schedule it's keeping. You probably said stop and meant don't stop. And the explanation you've always had for this, that your dog loves you, isn't wrong. But it's about a quarter of the full picture. Because when researchers started studying this behavior in controlled conditions, they found something underneath the licking that most people would never think to look for. A communication system older than domestication. A neurochemical loop that runs in both directions. And one finding that, once you know it, makes the morning face lick feel like something completely different. To understand why your dog licks your face, you have to go back. A behavior that exists in wolves, in wild dogs, and in virtually every canid species. And has, for millions of years before humans entered the picture. When a wolf pup is too young to eat solid food, it does something specific when an adult returns to the den. It moves toward them and licks rapidly at the corners of the adult's mouth. The adult responds by regurgitating partially digested food. The licking is a solicitation signal. It says, "I need what you have. Give it to me." Adult wolves use the same gesture with each other. Lower-ranking members lick the muzzles of dominant ones. The meaning shifts. Submission, deference, social maintenance. Mouth contact as a signal directed upward in a social hierarchy. Your dog inherited this entire system. Every time it licks your face, some fraction of what's happening is an ancient solicitation gesture, preserved intact across tens of thousands of years of domestication. It isn't just expressing something. It's asking for something. In a language that predates every word you've ever spoken to it. Here's the part that changes the picture. Your face is one of the most chemically information-rich surfaces your dog has access to. Sebaceous glands, sweat glands, the residue of everything you've eaten, the hormonal fluctuations running underneath your skin. All of it is sitting on the surface, and your dog's olfactory system is built to read it. A dog's nose contains roughly 300 million olfactory receptors. Humans have about 6 million. The region of the brain dedicated to analyzing scent is 40 times larger in a dog than in a human. When your dog moves toward your face, it is pointing one of the most sensitive chemical detection systems in the animal kingdom directly at your body's most expressive surface. In 2021, researchers at the University of Florida published findings in the journal Learning and Behavior. Dogs demonstrated measurable behavioral shifts in response to cortisol-associated scent compounds. Stress markers present in human sweat. Dogs trained to detect specific physiological states could do so from scent alone, with no visual or auditory cues present. Your dog licking your face isn't just contact. At the chemical level, it's a scan. It's reading your stress levels, your health state, your emotional baseline. Information your face is broadcasting, whether you're aware of it or not. In 2015, a team at Azabu University in Japan published a landmark study in the journal Science. They measured oxytocin in 30 dog owner pairs during different types of interaction. When dogs and owners engaged in mutual gaze, oxytocin rose in both simultaneously, across species, the same neurochemical, the same moment. Then they tested wolves raised by humans using the same protocol. The loop didn't activate. This co-evolved specifically between dogs and us, and no other animal triggers it. Physical contact amplifies this loop. A 2020 review in Frontiers in Psychology, tactile contact consistently produced oxytocin elevation in both species. The licking is participating in a feedback system. Your dog's brain releases oxytocin during the contact. So does yours. The behavior reinforces itself neurochemically in both directions at the same time. What this means is that when your dog licks your face, it isn't simply delivering affection the way you might hand someone a gift. It is entering a shared biological state with you. The neurochemistry isn't one-directional. The bond is being written in real time, in both nervous systems simultaneously. Context changes everything about what a lick means. Slow, sustained licking, the kind that lingers, that seems almost deliberate, appears most often after periods of separation or during physical closeness. Behaviorists associate it with social bonding and the oxytocin loop. It's the closest equivalent to what we'd call affection. Rapid, repetitive licking around the mouth specifically has a different behavioral profile. It shows up in appeasement contexts, when a dog is uncertain, when tension is present, when it's trying to communicate that it is not a threat. Ethologists classify this as an appeasement signal. If your dog licks your face frantically right after you've raised your voice, it isn't expressing love in that moment. It's performing a de-escalation gesture that wolves have used for millions of years. A 2012 study in animal cognition found that dogs responded to humans crying with increased proximity seeking and contact behavior compared to humans who were humming. The researchers described this as empathic concern. Your dog doesn't just notice your emotional state through scent. When that state signals distress, it moves toward you and makes contact. The lick in this context is not affection in the casual sense. It's a directed social response to a perceived need. If licking is this embedded in canine biology, why do some dogs do it constantly and others barely at all? Breed plays a measurable role. A 2024 study in PLOS-1, analyzing behavioral data from over 73,000 dogs, found significant breed-level variation in contact-seeking and affiliative behaviors. Dogs bred for close human collaboration, retrievers, spaniels, herding breeds, showed consistently higher rates. Dogs bred for more independent work, livestock guardians, some terriers, showed lower rates. The underlying genetics of social orientation aren't uniform across the species. Early experience matters substantially as well. A 2019 study in applied animal behavior science found that dogs with secure early attachment histories showed higher rates of positive affiliative contact with their owners, compared to dogs with disrupted early socialization. Licking frequency, in part, reflects the attachment history written into the dog's nervous system before you ever met it. And then there's reinforcement. Every time a face lick made you laugh, made you react, made you engage, your dog's brain logged the outcome. Variable reinforcement, the same mechanism behind slot machines, makes a behavior remarkably resistant to extinction. If licking your face has ever produced an interesting response, any response, the probability of it happening again went up. Most face licking is exactly what it appears to be. A normal, healthy social behavior. A normal, healthy social behavior expressing a mixture of ancient solicitation, chemical investigation, neurochemical bonding, and learned reinforcement. But compulsive licking, repetitive, difficult to interrupt, escalating over time, has a different profile. A 2012 study in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior found that dogs presenting with excessive licking behaviors had a significantly higher rate of underlying gastrointestinal conditions. In that study, 74% of the dogs examined had at least one diagnosable GI issue. When treatment addressed the physical condition, the licking reduced. Compulsive licking can also be anxiety-driven. Dogs with generalized anxiety disorders use oral self-soothing behaviors as a regulatory mechanism. The behavior looks affectionate from the outside. The internal experience is very different. If licking is constant, hard to redirect, seems disconnected from social context, or is accompanied by other repetitive behaviors, it's worth a veterinary conversation. The behavior that looks like too much love sometimes has a medical explanation underneath it. The next time your dog licks your face, here's what's actually happening in a single gesture. It has positioned itself at the point of most efficient sensory access to you. It's executing a social signal inherited from wolves, directed upward towards someone it recognizes as significant. It's running a chemical scan of your emotional and physiological state, using a detection system 40 times more sensitive than anything you're working with. It's releasing oxytocin, and so are you, building a neurochemical record of the bond in both your nervous systems at the same time. And depending on the context, it may be trying to tell you that it's not a threat, that it knows you're not okay, or simply that, after everything you've both been through today, it wanted to close the distance. It isn't just affection. It's older than affection. It's a communication system that was running in the ancestors of dogs long before the first one ever chose to stay near a human fire. The fact that it lands on your face in the morning before you've had coffee doesn't make it less remarkable. It makes it more. Subscribe if you want to keep decoding the science behind what your dog is actually doing. Drop a comment below. Does your dog lick your face? And have you ever noticed a pattern to when it happens? Next time, we're looking at a behavior that happens every single night. The wolf pack, social hierarchy maintained through contact. Your dog's ancestral behavioral toolkit, preserved across domestication. The moment your dog first licked your face as a puppy,